So over the course of my life, I have had well-meaning people, like people who are trying to be compassionate and try to help me, end up offering me things that were not super helpful in the long run. And I have a whole bunch of these. A lot of the things under compassionate, like that I could say that were compassionate, were like, giving me excuses for my behavior or telling me that things weren't my fault when they very clearly were my fault. And like I said, I know that they're being compassionate. I know they're trying to do the right thing, but these things really hampered me in the long run. But, since we're here kind of towards the beginning of the year and we're talking about goals and resolutions, one of the things that I was told that was the least helpful and that set me back over and over again revolves around this idea of goals and resolutions, in that it's like this idea that like you can do this work and you can be moving toward this place that you want to go, but if you screw up, you have to go back to the start. Like, the first place I heard this, and I want to be super clear, I am not anti 12 step at all. I know people who the 12-step program has saved their life. I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot from, especially like reading the literature and stuff and being in it both voluntarily and not voluntarily at times. I learned a lot from it. But one of the things that really wrecked me over and over was this idea that, you can quit, let's say you can quit drinking, and you can go 60 days, 90 days, a year, whatever. But if you slip up, you're going back to the beginning. And I understand from an addiction point of view, what they're saying is that like, you've now invited this back in and you have to deal with the consequences of it, and it's going to take some time to like overcome it, and you need to understand that you're back at rock bottom and you can't take anything for granted. I really do get that. But as a, I don't know, 14, 15, 16-year-old kid being around that kind of stuff, it really, to me, was debilitating. It was absolutely debilitating to think like, okay, wait, I could go 3 months and then I slip up and it's all for nothing. And the mentality it created in me was, I figured, okay, if I go a month without drinking and then I slip up and I tumble down and I'm all the way at the bottom of this hill, I like drinking, so I might as well just stay here a while and, and enjoy it before I start climbing again. And like, it's particular there. You can really see it there. And once again, I want to be clear. Like, don't like before you come at me in the comments about AA saved your life and stuff. Like, I get that shit. I know it's good for people. I know it helps a lot of people. But there have been some studies that show that the people it doesn't help, it's actually very unhelpful to. And I think I was one of those, because it really did. Like, I remember distinctly thinking that, like, well, gosh, if it's gonna suck and I'm never gonna get any better, and every time I slip up, I'm at the bottom of a hill. Like, I don't want that life. That's not for me. So I'm only saying that from my perspective, and I'm going to expand it to other things. So just please don't come for me about that. I'm not saying anything negative about AA. If it works for you, please work those steps. I've got friends who it helped. But let's talk about it in the broader sense of goals and especially resolutions. One thing that I'm not a big fan of with New Year's resolutions is that it feels like a one and done thing. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week all year long, and then you make it 3 weeks and then you miss a day, and it's like, well, I broke my resolution, so I can give up now. I'm going to quit smoking, and then you smoke a cigarette or you vape, whatever it is people do now. I'm not going to drink at all, and then you drink. Like, the problem with this idea that you have to start over, or that it's all for nothing, is that number one, is debilitating. Like you're never going to accomplish the hard things if you're not allowed to fail. Like that's going to wreck you every time. That's just going to fuck up every chance you have is out the window if you take that mentality. But number two, and this was the more important one to me, was that it discounts or takes away all the work you've done in between for all the things you've changed. Like, when I had that mentality about drinking or using drugs or any of the just stuff I was doing, and I had this idea that, okay, well, now I've had to start all over. Number one, like I said I enjoy it, so I'm going to lay here for a while, and I'm going to lay here at the bottom of the hill, and I'm going to drink, and I'm going to smoke, and I'm going to take pills or whatever I was into, which was usually whatever was around. That wasn't helpful. But it also made me like forget or discount all the things that I'd learned along the way. Like, when I first started getting off, I didn't have any time under my belt, but as I started putting time under my belt, I would go 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month and a half. And in that time, I would put new habits in place that I'd never had before. I would learn things about myself and my triggers and what would lead to that. And I got a lived experience of a whole different world, of a world that I had never been part of before. And it made it real to me. It's like, oh wow, people can have fun without using drugs. Oh wow, you can be sober and life not suck. When I would slip up, oftentimes, like, the slipping up, the getting high, the getting drunk, the whatever, wasn't as much fun, because I also had this picture of this other world that I kind of liked. I liked being clear-headed, and I liked getting shit done and not getting fired and not being in trouble, So like that time that I spent working towards something was valuable. I was not starting over. It was not all taken from me. This is true of any goal you set. If you set the resolution that you're going to go to the gym every single day and you go for 3 weeks, that's 3 weeks that, first of all, the very hardest part is walking in the gym and everybody looks at you. And if you're like me and I didn't know how to use the machines, and like getting in there and like figuring out how to use the machines was a big part of it. Knowing how to do that. That was a huge obstacle to overcome. If you go to the gym for 3 weeks and then you slip up and you don't go for a week, when you go back, you still know how to use the machines. You've developed some degree of muscles. You've developed, some tone or some fitness, whatever you want to call it. You have maybe made some friends at the gym, or you at least have some familiar faces. You know how it works. You know what's on the TVs. You know which of the treadmills doesn't work right. You know the little screen that you walk along a path doesn't work. You know all these things. And so when you go back in, you're stepping back in at that level. You're not starting all over. It's not brand new to you. And I think like a really ridiculous way to think about this would be like to say, if somebody decided they wanted to lose some weight and they lose 20 pounds and then they slip up and they don't stay on their eating plan and it all goes out the window. When they come back to it, if they come back in the next week, they haven't reset everything. There's some work to do and some work to overcome, but it's not like it's all back to square one. And I don't know if that was the intention. And I don't think that was the intention of the older people in 12-step who were telling me this. I think they were trying to help me understand the seriousness of the situation, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, it did create this like insurmountable, hopeless situation that I was trapped in, and that made it really hard for me. And I carried that into other goals. It carried me into this place of where the perfect was the enemy of the good. If I did something right for a month and then slipped up, oh, I'm throwing it out. I'm going to go try something brand new. I'm going to go try something brand new because this is tainted, this is broken, and I don't want to do it anymore. One of the best skills you can possibly learn, one of the best things you can possibly teach yourself is that when you are working towards something, when you have a goal and you slip up along the way, just start again. Just start again the next day. You miss the gym on a day, go the next day. You screw up your eating plan, pick it back up the next day. You drink on Wednesday night, stop drinking on Thursday. You smoke a cigarette, or I don't know if I smoke cigarettes anymore. I'm aging myself, aren't I? I'm dating myself. You're going to quit vaping, and you vape on a Thursday, quit again on Friday. That was revolutionary to me. Everything changed for me when I would slip up, and I'd go drink. Cool, the next day stop again, and get 4, 5, 6 days, weeks, months under my belt until eventually I just quit. I just walked away from it all. And I had this resilience and I had all this knowledge built up from the failures. I'd learned what not to do. I'd learned what to avoid, and that was really helpful. But it applies to any goal in your life, anything you're trying to do, anything at all. Do it as well as you can. Build up that resilience, build up that knowledge of how you do it. When you slip up, just start again. There's no distance to cover. There's nothing you need to do. Just go right back to where you were. This shortens the trip by a mile. It makes it so much easier. And I think that is one of the things that if you have things you want to do, if you have big plans, taking this mentality in and understanding that, oh, I can fail and I can just start again. I can fail and I can just pick up right where I left off. It makes you almost bulletproof, and you learn so much along the way. Like, failure is a really good teacher. I think I did a whole podcast on that. Failure can be your best friend, but it's your worst enemy if you think that it sends you back to square one every time. So I don't know. Think about something you're trying to do. Think about something you're trying to do, take the steps to do it, and when you mess up, see what happens when you just pick it up again. I promise, it makes the trip a lot shorter, it makes everything easier, you still get to learn all the lessons, and you don't spend time beating yourself up or just laying there and enjoying yourself. And that, I don't know, you'll never regret that. That's going to get you where you want to go a whole lot faster.